Yeah, in today's session we have CI/CD for dev queue and demo environments. Let me go by. Okay, let me go with web app project. Okay, this, Usha, you know anything about CI/CD, right?
Yes, Shari, we do in GitLab.
Yeah, in GitLab, like here we can manage this. Like we can control. We can include this two in one. This CI/CD is implemented in this Azure DevOps only, like build and deployment. Like customer deployments, you already know like how we use deployments, like by using that installation files, right? By just clicking that. So let me go with Azure DevOps CI/CD implementation. So this is the Azure DevOps tool. In order to go with CI/CD pipelines, there is a section called pipelines. So you can see here, if you click this pipelines, this is pipelines is nothing but build pipelines. And like here we use build and release is nothing but cd part. Here CI part comes, here cd part comes. Deployment groups I will tell you later. So once you click this CI part, which is pipelines, like you can see here, like dev CI, qa CI, and demo CI. Here dev CI is nothing but it will deploy into dev environment in the sense like we have dev.corify.com, right? Dev.corify.com. This environment it will directly deploy. So QA in the sense like we have QA.corify.com. So like that, this demo build pipeline it will directly deploy into demo.corify.com. So what it will do once developer check in their code into development branch, you can see here once you open this dev CA pipeline. So you can see how I configured here. Like if you edit this, you will see like how I configured edit pipelines. So you can see like how I have configured. This is the dev pipeline. So this is pipeline configuration. This agent pool is nothing but we need one server to run this application. It will check in the code, right? So that code will copy to one server and it will run in that server. Everything will be configured inside that server. So whatever is required for .NET application, we need MS build NuGet restore to build the code. So yesterday I showed, right, that CI/CD payoff server. In that server it is configured. Network issues. Let me show you by switching on it. Okay, the this is the agent. This is the agent here it is showing. You can see here agent pool. So what I have done is like I have created one server in AWS and run this Azure agent you will get. You need to run that agent and it will configure in this D drive. So ADO agent is there, right? Inside this only everything will run. So it will configured as 1 2 3 4 5 6. inside this period. This is the build. Here the build will happen. So if you open for, so you can see S is nothing but code, A is nothing but artifactory. So you can see like code, everything will be there here. Like I will show you. This is for period. Web app I will show you. What this is so period. You can see if I show you the web app repository, if you go to repos, so you can see the code structure here. You can see right CMN, Core Health, web app application setup, web app applications, web app setup. So whatever, once you trigger this build pipeline, it will check in that entire code to this server. So by using .sln file, by using this web app sln file, it will build the code. Once it build the code, what it will do, it will generate the artifacts. I will show you. So you can see so this is the dev pipeline, right? So it is fetching from, you can see here, development branch. So this is the task, one by one it will get executed. Like it will restore the NuGet packages into that server, and it will build. This build solution is for building the code. Like by using SLN solution file, it will build. Like here you have specified SLN solution file, right? What I have showed inside this code repository. By using this solution file, it will build, and it will generate the artifacts. Once it generates the artifacts, what I am doing here, I am copying that artifacts to, like here another one, like one option is the artifacts. This is nothing but artifact staging directory in this Azure DevOps. What it will do, it will directly push into this artifact staging directory. You can see here, if you select web app feed here, we need to create the feed, and we need to link that feed in this pipeline. So what it will do, once that artifact generates in this server, it will directly push to this artifacts using this feed. See, dev branch artifacts is there, clear branch artifacts. This master is nothing but demo environments. This is clear environments artifact. This is dev branch artifacts. So it is directly pushing to creating as dev branch artifacts. One this artifacts is available, like CD, now CI part is over. So CD part will take place. CD part in the sense like release pipeline I have configured. You can see here like dev environments release pipeline, QA environments release pipeline, and demo environment release pipeline. Once that artifacts is available, this release pipeline get triggered. So you can see once I will show you like how I configured. So you can see this is the clear branch artifacts. See, it is once it is available in this artifact stage, right, this will automatically like triggers. The continuous deployment trigger has been enabled. It is enabled. It will directly trigger and deploy into this QA environments. So one small PowerShell script has been written, like what it will do. The whatever the copy, it will copy the artifacts from QA branch artifact. So destination is nothing but C deployment app. You know, right, where should we deploy application web app in the server. So it is directly deploying to C deploy app. So that is for the dev environments. For this organization, we have pipelines for web app, Peri app, and portal project. Portal is there, one of the portal latest is there. Everything is same. Like whatever I have shown you for web app, for Peri app also it is same. Let me show you Peri app. PeriApp is also same, so same set of pipelines has been built for PeriApp. You can see dev pipeline, QA pipeline, demo pipeline, and release pipeline is nothing but dev QA and demo. same set of environment, same set of pipeline has to be created. And deployment group is nothing but deployment group in the sense like you have one environment like dev environment. For the dev environment, there is one server, dev app server. So what you need to do in order to CD part, like you need to deploy the artifacts, right? You need to run the agent, deployment agent, agent in the sense like you can create one of the group and you can so if you click any one of the group deployment groups, you can register this deployment group in that agent. So you can see if the destination server is Windows, you can copy these scripts and using PowerShell you can run that inside any of the server like this. So what it will do, this server is registered in that Azure DevOps. Like you can see here, Windows or so this server Azure, it will run as an agent. I will show you. So like that, it will directly interact with the server. It will like copy paste, like deploying, building, everything will happen like this. So you can see MS build agent, Azure agent, I think so. Azure pipelines agent, you can see here, right? So one agent will be copied like how we are doing for malware batch, it will run as an agent, right? Like that it will create and it will all the operations will perform using this agents. So anyone having any doubt, let me give me a second.
Chari, when it was doing the CI, right? If any of the stage is failed, so obviously it should not go to CD, right? Was there any option, such option enabled, like exit on failed script something?
Sorry, Usha, can you repeat?
No, while it was running for all the stages, right? Publish and executing
Yeah,
some script. So if any of that stage is failed, so it should not go to CD.
yeah.
So any such option available, like it is enabled?
Let me tell you. Uh, See, till now I showed you web app project, right? Like, let me show you this portal. This
Okay.
portal is failing from around 1 month build pipeline. You can see dev, demo, CI, everything is failing. You can see here,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this has been failing from, you can see stages. It is failing 4 hours ago. Someone has triggered and developments and someone has pushed the code, merged the code, so it is triggered, continuously triggered. So this pass has been done like around December 18th. From 3 months, it is failing. You can see here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once you open this, like this is our job, like where it is failing, we need to figure out and we need to clear it. But you can when you see this error, it is failing because of the namespace. You can see here why it is errors it is giving, why it is failing. This is because of the patient risk scope algorithm ASP is not available. So this is developer's jobs. So I have raised a mail to the developer. So they have assigned Ravindra Jain for that. So from 3 months, he has not cleared that. So only it is failing every job.
Okay.
So we need to go what is the issue. Like if it is our side issue, we need to clear it. So if it is developer issue, we need to copy this one, and we need to send them as a mirror. Like this pipeline is failing, we need this namespace like patient period namespace, like they will manage in code. Okay, so it is not available, so only it is failing, so it is not our job. So like whose job it is, they should take care. That's it. So it will not happen like once this pipeline is, if stage like let me show you one option, edit pipeline. So this is the continuous task I have added. So this task is build solution is failing. This universal publish will not get executed. It will not publish the artifacts because see here in controlled option is there. Controlled option is nothing but only when all previous task has been succeeded. If task is succeeded, then only this task will get triggered.
Yes,
What
yes.
my
Yeah,
point?
this I'm looking like continue on error and
Yeah,
enable. Yeah. I got
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. If you give this, like even if previous task has failed unless the build was cancelled, like it will directly deploy whatever the artifacts is present.
Right. There are such cases like if there is no dependency on the previous task.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
And some more options are there, sorry, that might get restored, whatever.
And you get
What
restored
is
in the
that one?
sense for .NET application, some packages needs to be there, like in order to build that .NET application. So what it will do, it will directly download from that internet, like whatever the package is required to run that code. So what developers will do, they will run the code using Visual Studio, right? So in this
Mhm.
server, we are not using Visual Studio. So we need to configure directly in this server. NuGet restore is required. Like that is the basic steps in building any application of .NET.
And these pipelines usually they will run or they'll request us to run.
No, 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 no. They will not run. We will not run. Like it will get automatically triggered. You can see here, like if you see the pipeline, here we have enabled continuous trigger. Once they are pushed into the development branch or QA branch of
Pipeline
master
auto.
branch, triggers is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once they push, enable continuous integration is triggered is there, which is the branch specific development branch. Since it is a dev branch, dev pipelines, dev environment pipelines. So once they push into the development branch, this pipeline will get automatically triggered.
Triggered. Okay.
Yeah.
Automatically triggered. Okay. If there is any issue, then we need to go and check why that issue
Yeah,
happens.
like we will getting mails like every day, like once they trigger, we will be getting mails.
Hmm.
So we will be getting each and every mail for build, release, everything. You
Okay.
can see here, if you see here, see Azure DevOps deployment succeeded, dev release, deployment succeeded, dev release, build succeeded, build failed for Polta as shown you, right? So even they will be getting, we will be getting this mail. So they will check, like whoever it is triggered, they will check
Okay.
why it is failing.
Okay. They can able to check themselves like why it is failed, right?
Yeah, they will be getting in this only, it will be their detail error list will be there. You
Error
can
list.
see
Okay.
here.
Mm-hmm.
So let me pop out this. You can see my screen, right? Uh,
Yes. Yes.
you can see detailed error will be there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It is failing.
Okay.
So anything else?
No, Chari, but these errors we are not getting actually. So our ID should be added somewhere or
Yeah, in Azure DevOps, like when you go to specific projects, there is project setting, right? Project settings, in project settings, like in notification, I think so. Right now, right. Notification. So in notification, we need to add our IDs. Like whoever mm, will triggers, they will get definitely they will get the mail. Like
yes,
in
yes.
addition, you need to get mail, right? See here you have build completes, build files, build is completed. So you can click this here. Mm, This is notification service for uh, this web app project. So here you can give like a specific team, like you, if you add, like see my name is added, definitely for each and every build I will get a mail. So let me
Okay.
add your name also, like what is your ID?
Usha
Usha.
Usha Rani. Usha Rani at the rate core mobile inc.com. I'll verify once. One.
Yeah. Uday, what is your mail?
Yeah, Usharani K. Sorry, I forgot K.
Uday.
Usharani.
Okay.
Uday K.
HK
RA
or a Chakra?
TARI
Huh?
TARI.
Yeah. Antena. See, now you people is added like each for each
Mine
and
is
every.
Usharani K. Chari, you
Yeah,
added
I have
K.
edited. I have
Okay,
edited.
I didn't see.
Notation.
Okay, thanks.
Like this, we can set our like user IDs to get for each and every time. So it as it is same for dev and dev QA and demo environments. So I have completed this one. Mm, so if you have any doubts, you can ask. Like Azure DevOps is nothing but like I was shown you, right? Like build and deployment, including customer deployments in the sense as you already know, like we used to install using .exe files, right? Artifacts. So whatever the artifacts I am pushing to this artifact directory and deploying to by using release pipelines. So they used to like developers used to create using .exe file. So once you click that the exe file, it will directly deploy into deployment folder / app in customer environments.
Chari, I didn't get the artifact part. Can you repeat that, please?
See, once we build the code, sure.
Okay.
Once we build any code, like there will be artifacts will be generating.
Mm.
Artifacts is nothing but like for any application to run, there should be some artifacts. Artifacts is result files of that code. So you have seen, right, deployment folder like in web app server.
Right. We have seen.
Yeah, that will get generated here.
Okay. Oh, the .exe files for CMN web app and CMN Peri app and right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, VJ release. This is the artifacts. Like it will get generated. Like a string. This is the artifacts in order to get any application online.
Chari, these artifacts will get pulled automatically to the pipeline, right?
Yeah. It is
Okay,
contrast. Let me show you. This is MQTT server. See here, deployment is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is app. This is not in. This is a server where we have configured dev environments.
Okay.
So you can see here, this will be browsed through dev.corify.com. This is the application where background code is in this deployment / app. You got it?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah, this
Yes,
is
sir.
only the artifacts. This is only the artifacts. This is web app application, right? So when I open this web app in this period, so this is the web app code. So once we run this SLS solution file, what it will do, it will create that artifacts. Like, let me show you. Object.release6. Packages. No, not this. OBJ. Yeah, OBJ release. Something like that. Automatic. OBJ release package tab. OBJ release packages not there. See, this is a web app application. You can see these artifacts in this Peria build server, right? Same artifacts we will take from this build and deploy into this web app, like a dev app server for this application to run. That's it.
Okay.
So
V means not V, pipeline.
sorry?
V means not V, pipeline, right?
Yeah, pipeline will get deployed. Like we need to configure the pipeline to deploy there, right?
But as of now, it is configured the way, right? That the same way.
Yeah.
Okay, check.
So I'm done with this. Like Windows upgrade or migration, I don't know who has given this task. Like check whether you know like what we were doing in this.
So maybe we are migrating from AWS to Azure, right?
AWS to Azure. Okay.
So might be
The ID which you provided me, that is ADM ID, right? This server should log in with the functional ID. Can you ping me the functional ID?
Usha, are you asking anything?
No, it's not my voice, Chari.
No, if ADM in the last, that should.
Udai, is that you?
Actually, my cousin is working. That's why.
Please go on.
Okay. No issues. Yeah, like upgradation and migration. Like check whether what you said.
No, I thought this is my from Azure, AWS to Azure migration that they have introduced, right? So they ask us to do migration part will be coming to picture. We are planning to migrate by Azure AWS to an Azure environment.
Yeah.
Was that? Might be this task
But
might be added by Sandeep, I think so.
this too, I am not sure like why is added. Like this, we have not performed it. Like we have a plan to migrate from complete set of servers to AWS to Azure. Like whatever the setup is there in the AWS services, everything we need to migrate. Like someone has said to Chandra that AWS will be giving cost more. So Azure is costless. As a picture, it is like it is not like that as a scenario, but Azure is cost more. AWS is costless as of now, as I know. But like we got a request from Chandra, like we need to completely move this all the set of environments, like whatever the environments, dev servers, developer servers, all the set of servers we need to migrate to Azure. Like till now we have not done. Even I am not sure like how to perform this Windows upgrade or migration task.
No, actually, as you said, Chari, that is true. The cost comparison infrastructure level, both are same.
Yeah,
But package wise, if you get a package like a Azure package from the, if you talk to Azure and they will give you the package wise like SQL
yeah,
database.
yeah.
So then
That's
only
good.
we'll get a benefit. Even one day we were in call with Chandra, right? You and me, Chandra, right? So we were working on a data DB migration. We were talking about DB migration. Even you
Yeah,
tried to set up the DB setup, right? DB server. So that
yeah.
day I clearly informed to Chandra, as of my analysis, there is no difference between infra level. So, but if we get a package from Azure, then that will be good, pretty enough. Then Chandra said, okay, I will talk on this with Azure team itself.
Yeah, but like see, Chakradari, in this AWS also we can buy reserved instance, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that will be like cost will be less, like compared to on demand what we are using as of now. So if we buy if we buy reserve instance for AWS, like this will be better for this server. Like
Mm.
Uday and Chakradari, I don't know like what migration has to be done. Like as I heard, like complete set of servers needs to be moved to Azure DevOps. That I am sure. So be prepared for that. Even I am not perform this migration anyhow. Like I will tell you what I have done is like in AWS, whatever the database server, DP server. So like see if you see launch any of the instance, uh, yeah, Microsoft, Uday and Chakravarti, you can see, right? So in AWS, what is the benefits is nothing but like if we want to run any SQL server, so inside this AMI, there will be already SQL 2017 standard is present as of now. So you
Correct.
can just spin up the instance and you can configure like everything will be configured by in this image itself. But in Azure, so we will not virtual machines like that. We will be not having much virtual machines like that. So only like basic level of Windows, like Windows will be there, but SQL services will not configure in that in this Azure. So what Azure is providing is SQL services as a separate service, SQL databases. What you can do here, this is a PaaS service. PaaS is nothing but platform as a service. Like they are providing separate services as a platform. In Azure, nothing but this is an infrastructure as a service, IaaS. So here we will get both in one server, but this is separate service. PaaS service is nothing but, so you need to spin up like this SQL services. This will be around $350 per month if you spin up this
Even
SQL services.
AWS also we have a PaaS services like Aurora DB and
Yeah,
MongoDB and RDS.
RDS is there, but this is different. Like we don't find SQL in Windows Server in
Yeah, that
Azure.
RDS is nothing but SQL server only, right?
Yeah, but we are not using that, right? As of now, we are using this. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. See here, once you subscribe this SQL databases, you can spin up n number of databases. Like it, you in order to like n number of databases, like we were having DevDB, DemoDB, QueryDB, right? So you
Mm.
need to create DevDB, DemoDB, QueryDB in this only one services, SQL databases services. So credentials will be provided. So you can use credentials to connect to any of this database by using SSMS. So you will be not having Windows Server. You can log in and you can check SSMS by using this. Like yesterday, how I have shown like SSMS, you can check and log in. Separate services will be not there. That's it. So coming to migration part, like we have taken coming to migration part in the sense like once we have tried to migrate AWS database, like how we have created backfile, right? That yesterday I have shown you that backfile we have created and we tried to migrate to this SQL database in Azure. But we are getting cross data some issues like some of the cross database connections or cross database queries is not supported by these SQL services. So we have took support from Microsoft people. They said directly this services is not supporting in this Azure SQL services. So we have stopped till now as of now. So for that purpose, what I have done is like one of the virtual machine I have created here, like virtual machine in the sense like only 2016 is installed as of now. So one virtual machine I have created like separately. I have logged into that virtual machine. This is like this is in this virtual machine I have logged in and downloaded the SQL server and installed separately in this virtual machine and converted this virtual machine as an SQL server for
Sorry,
time
complete.
being. So for
Last.
time being, what I have done, like we were Chakradhari, this SQL database was not supporting in this
Correct.
Microsoft Azure, right? Like what for that, like anyhow, we need to configure some database in this Microsoft Azure because of Activa people wants their servers in Azure only, right?
Yes.
So what I have done, like one virtual machine I have created in this Azure,
Yes.
which is having 2016. That's it.
Yes. Yes.
Not SQL services will be not there, right? So what I have done, I have logged into that 2016 server and downloaded SQL services in that. MS SQL I have downloaded and installed and configured. It will take
Yeah, I
around
remember. I remember.
30 to 40 minutes it will take to configure that MS SQL. So like I have converted this Windows 2016, like how we have in AWS, we are using in AWS.
Like completely on premises, like how we used to do earlier.
Yeah, like that I have converted in this.
Okay. It's not like a service.
Yeah.
Understand.
So I am done with Windows migration and upgrade part. Like that's all I can remember. Like apart from that, I have not done anything. So any questions, any doubts?
But Chari, DB only you covered, like for the normal servers also we were taking part of, I mean we were doing the migration, right?
Definitely
No.
we have to do migration later part, but I will let you know. I know how to do migration from AWS to Azure. Okay. The moment they start it, I will let you know.
Like Chakradhar, do we use any tool?
Actually, we can go with a third party tool otherwise, but in Azure Migrate itself, we can able to migrate from AWS to Azure, and even from any kind of I mean any kind of environment too, we can do migration to Azure. We have an integrated tool in AWS service. It's a Azure Migrate. We can go with that.
Okay, okay. Even I'm not sure. We have not done till now, right?
We haven't done. We
So
haven't done.
yeah, like Uday and Chakradhar Usha, like we need to practice this because like some of the dependency will be added in these servers. Like we have AWS servers, right? N number of servers. So there will be some dependency. We need to use migration tool to migrate from AWS to Azure. So what it will do, it will completely replicate from here to there. So you cannot create new servers and you cannot install whatever is required as of in this, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So only migration is only the minimum possibility, right? To
Yeah,
avoid.
right.
And
Yeah.
Chakradhari, what I'm thinking is instead of I mean involving us at that time, like if you could provide one session, I mean how the process works, like how you people used to do. That
As
would be better.
So far, actually, we haven't done, Usha. Okay. I mean, I have to look in. I already prepared a document earlier. I think I remember, but we have to once the scenario comes into picture. Anyways, we will have some time. So Chandra
Okay.
will give some time. Okay, we will start from next month. So then I will get it ready and I will share you. Okay.
Okay. So till now nothing was migrated, no? Or
So far,
people are
actually, we have
telling you are migrated.
no
Nothing
nothing.
is migrated as of now.
Okay. The okay plan is in progress. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is under pipeline.
Okay. Okay. Then fine. Then we can plan it. I thought few servers already migrated. Because I saw in the
Such case,
sheet like.
such case definitely we might have SOP, right? We will share.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
so far it's not done. Actually, it was on pipeline when Sandeep was there, but later on Chandra was completely occupied. Chandra and Chari was completely occupied. I mean, on like a application go live, right? So
Mhm.
they are busy with that. Then the process. The planning was postponed to latter part.
Okay. So as of now, what we are supporting from Azure is only the database that was done by
Even
Chari, right?
Optiva project is there. So Chari and myself have set up some sort of servers, and he's occupied, and now he's working on that. He
Okay.
shown you right some sort of
Yeah,
servers are
yeah, that one I saw. That. Yeah.
area from the above. So I just involved into create the servers and I hand out to Chari and Divya. So they completely worked on that.
Mhm. Okay.
So like next is troubleshooting and security breaches. I'm not sure what we need to complete. Chakradhar, you have any idea on this?
Yes, since I have taken handover, I mean not handover, earlier
Nessus.
Divya used to do Nessus scan. So I
Okay.
think I already explained to Usha as well. One day we both worked on Nessus scan. So it's a one of that vulnerability tool where we can as a buffer for Windows servers. So we just have to be we don't have any paid account here.
Okay, let me tell you the process. Like check Uday and Usha, like Vaibhav. Nessus scan is a tool like where it will scan the server. Server in the sense like you need to give the IP. So what it will do, it will scan that server using that IP. If any port is open, like port 80 we should not open, so it will scan that server. Like any security breaches is there, it will report using Excel spreadsheet. So how you can set up Nessus scan in the sense you need to create one virtual machine. One virtual machine in the sense like one Nessus scan is like a free version will be available for 15 scans only. 15 scans. So what Chandra has suggested, we can create a number of virtual machines in this AWS, right? So once you spin up new VM, so you can configure, like it will be configured as a new Nessus scan. So you will be having 15 scans. You can do perform 15 scans. For that, you need to give one of the mail ID by using any of the Gmail you can give. So you will get 15 scans, right? Once you give IP, so what it will do, it will scan the, like if you give this dev server IP, like which is 108, it will scan and it will report the issues. Report the issues in the sense like risk will be there. It will be assessed by risk, like medium, high, low risk. Like you need to clear all the risk. How what we will get risks we will see now. Like Chakravarti, you have that report.
Yeah.
Like how we need to clear that risk. I don't know where I've saved. Divya send me. Oh, I think I don't have. Can you share it?
Yeah.
So one document is there, like there the risk has been mentioned and how to clear that risk also it is mentioned. So in order to clear any risk, like we will be getting SSL, SSL is not updated. SSL 1.1, 2.0 is, yeah, I think this is the, yeah, this is the document, like you will be having risks and a solution for that risk is also given. So you need to perform some registry settings inside that Windows server.
So like this, we will get how many findings, I mean, a number of findings we'll get. And the summary will be like this, like what is the high, whether it is high risk or medium risk, and whether it is open or close, and findings SSL version 2 and 3 protocol detected. So as per our standards, I mean, as per the standards, we have to be, so the remediation also will be at bottom, and we just have to be look into what actually we have to do. So if jQuery 1.2, we have to, according to the self-reported version. So this, the solution also will be here. So based on that, either we can open the particular location and we can resolve it. And this is already, see, some of them already closed. So we can look into this and we just ignore them. So these are solution also there in the sheet itself. So we have and earlier Divya used to work, and later one day myself and Usha have prepared a document and given a solution as well. But that solutions were not there here, and we have shared to Chandra and we kept in one share path. Okay, this is the recommendations how we can do from the SSScan itself will give some recommendations. Even when you run the report itself, so in the SSScan we can able to see what are the solution that we can follow by say, I mean, they will give some recommendations. With the recommendations, we can follow the solution finding and we can resolve them. Any doubts?
Let me show you how the reports will be like. Let me present my screen. Like once you scan it using any of the IP, the reports will be like this. Let me show you.
Okay.
See, this is the report we will get from that Nessus scan. So here we have given 3.214.125 225. This server is nothing but I think this is a database server. See, this is the report like synopsis, description, everything will. Like here you can assess the risk. There is one medium risk, two medium risk. If you come down like three medium, four medium risk is there. So this is the high risk one. High risk is there. So you can see here like why it is causing that risks. Like SSL version 2 and 3 protocol detection is found inside the server. So what you can do, you can copy this and you can search in the document what Chakradhar has shown, right? So there will be a solution for that document. So you can perform the steps what is present in that solution inside this server by logging into this server. So once you perform that solution, you can scan again by using the IP. So again this report will get generated. So it will be come as none. That's it. We need to clear the risk like this.
And I just shared you two documents. Those are currently, I mean, latest version. Actually, not only we can able to pull the report, even Excel sheet and CSV file, and even HTML file, PDF, that we can.
Yeah. But Excel is more understanding, right?
More understanding.
Yeah, you can see your SSL certificate cannot be trusted. So what you need to do is this here is, so in MMC there is a trusted certificates. So I will open in my local also MMC. For this, it is showing like what is SSL certificate cannot be trusted. What you can do for this here is you can add or remove snappings. Certificates add. Next. Local computer. Okay. So in these certificates, before you are adding certificates like dev.qualifiers.com certificates in these personal certificates, right? So what you can do to overcome this SSL certificate cannot be trusted. You can add that certificate in trusted root. Here, if you add certificates in that certificate in this section trusted root, two certificates. So once you add that certificate, so you can run again the scan. So this will get like this medium get resolved.
How can you know that which certificate we have to add?
We have to add that root certificate only. SSL certificate, which one we use?
Okay.
Which one you use? Domain certificate only, right?
Correct.
Yeah, PFX. That you can add. That's it.
Okay.
Use that only, right? So I'm done with this section. Like anybody having any doubt?
Do you have any document how to do SSCAN? Any comments? This are all.
SSCAN, we don't have any document, but you need to download and install. That's it. Like this will be there. Let me show you. The user interface will be like this. Let me show you like this. The user interface. Just you need to download that application and install. That's it, Uday.
Okay.
In Windows Server, newly Windows Server.
Yeah, you just have to install and download and install, and so even he will ask you some kind of details, your mail ID, your company, and so just if you provide it, you will get a one certificate like a license to your mail. So that license you have to enter, and the interface also you have to download on your same server. So otherwise you can you can connect over the local host like the web server also will be involved. You can connect over the local.
Uday, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, yes.
Like this is the portal you will get once you install SSCAN inside any of the server. So
Okay.
here you can click this basic network scan. Basic network scan will, if you click, it will ask for IP, whichever the server you need to scan. If you give that scan and scan, if
Okay.
you enter that IP and give that scan, it will scan and it will generate the report. That's it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, the report will be I provided a basic scan report, right?
Yes.
First one.
Yeah, yeah.
The report will be like that. If you can download and you can see.
Yeah, okay.
So once we done that, like once 15 scans will be over, so we will terminate that server.
Okay.
So if any scans needs to be done for next IP, so we need to spin up new server and we need to configure SSCAN in that. Again, same process. So they don't want to buy license for this SSCAN, so we are using like that. Okay, I'm done with today's topic. So if anybody is having any doubts, like we can discuss or else we can wind up the call.
I don't have anything from my side, Charlie. Nobody, then we can wind.
I will go with Azure DevOps tool that we have explained, right? So if I have any doubts, I will ask you the question.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Thank you.
Okay, let me stop recording.